So one of the jobs I'd like to do to tidy things up is just to redo this marking on the gear knob and also on the choke and also on the heater control down here. We're losing light, so it's difficult to film. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape out the existing one, and then I'm going to paint in with some final model making paint into the grooves and where the numbers are and where the letters are on the other controls, and then any excess I will rub away with some very, very fine wire wool. I've done this technique before on Bakelite knob controls for an old valve radio and it seemed to work, so I'm going to try it again for this and we shall see how it comes out. Right, this is not only possible for me to do and film at the same time, but I'm just going to show you, hopefully, a little bit of scraping out. No, I need two hands and I haven't got my holder for the camera, so I'm going to have to do that and then bring you back. No, absolute disaster, I can't do it. Sorry. Okay, so I've got some of the paint out now, but the difficulty is going to be that the indenting has now worn away over the 53 years of use. So the 2's quite nice and deep, but the R is quite shallow, as is, if I turn it round, the 1 and the 3. So whereas filling in paint in the shape of the gate and then cleaning the outside is going to be quite easy, the other bit's going to be a bit more difficult to get to work. So we shall try and see what happens. I'm going to try see if I can improve the symbols a bit more. So that's the R for reverse a bit deeper now. Hopefully that's deep enough for the paint to go in. Just tidy up the 4 a bit. Okay, so that's it with the paint in. It looks pretty shabby like that, but the plan is let it dry and then I can gently raise any of the paint that's higher that's on the surface. So if you see on the R, there's thin bits of paint that are in the R. So if I can get rid of the ones that aren't at the lower level, then it should look okay. It's whether that whole lot comes off. I'll give it a try. Okay, so the idea is that I use some wire wool that I've got, which is this very fine 000 stuff, which is really good for cleaning glass, windscreens, that kind of thing without doing any damage. It's really fine. Then that won't damage the normal surface of the gear knob, and hopefully just wear away the paint that's on the surface rather than that's held in the lower part where the actual numbers are. So I need to cut a bit of this off. Got the scissors now, so cut a bit off. Put that away in the bag, feel nice and clean. And see if this works. So I've tried this process before and it worked, but you never know. Okay, so the gate's not coming up too bad. A few bits to improve. I say it's very fine, so you have to take your time. It's around. Try not to wobble the camera too much. Right, and it's got that little bit there. Let's try and get the ends of these gates for 2 and 4. Right. Okay. So that's most of the gate simple done. There's a little bit of a paint there, so I need to get rid of that, and hopefully I can do that at the same time as doing this number 1. That's where the difficulty comes in, trying to get these numbers because they're not very deep. So yeah, so the one's not brilliant, but the embossing as such wasn't great on the one. Let's see about the number 3. Where are we? Let's try and keep that central. Put that down. I mean, I guess if you've got a really good magnifying glass and a very, very small paintbrush, you can apply it better in the first place. I'm kind of just working with what I've got at the moment. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to... Ah, okay. So, we've lost a bit of the 3. The other bits are still there. There's always a temptation to do things too perfectly, which means it doesn't look of its age, and also just you spend hours doing something and not some time doing something and then some time doing all the other jobs that need doing. Hang on. Oh, we've got letter R. Right. Okay. Right. So I don't think there's any excess paint left. I think it's probably as good as I'm going to get. I might possibly try and fill that 3 in, because that would be quite nice. And see if I can get that 1 a bit better, but that will require more paint. But generally it's taken off the excess, looks clearer, and I guess doesn't look too perfect. So I haven't got a proper small brush, so I've just got a single strand of wire. Going to see if I can get some paint on it and fill this in. It would help if the bit of wire isn't moving really. I don't know if you can see this or not. Obviously I couldn't resist making it slightly better. Got over the edge. That's annoying. Okay, bring you back to the centre. Okay, let's see if I can do anything with the 3 on 1. If I can actually see it. Okay, so the one's looking a bit better. Let's see if I can get that 3 a bit better and then we're done. Clean my brush up. Paint's drying, it's very, very hot out here. Okay, and I think that's going to do. Yeah, definitely not spending any more time fiddling about with this, he says. Yep, that's going to do. Okay, so that's the gear knob done. And this is it, back in place, all done. So now we need to have a look at doing this one and tidying up this one a little bit. So I've got this lens set up, but with the steering wheel right where you want to put your head, it makes it very difficult. So it'd be easier if I could take the whole thing off, really. I guess I could have done. So it really was very difficult to actually see what I was doing, so I've ended up just splodging a whole load of paint on again. Which has gone into all the bits this time, so I could at least see that. And going to leave that to dry thoroughly. It's baking hot today, and then I'll try and get rid of all the excess with the wire wool again. And okay, so I'm going to see if this records. I'm not sure whether this will work or not. I've overpainted it again, and I'm going to try and get rid of the excess with this wire wool again. Did put quite a lot on this time, so it might be a bit of a pain. Okay, that's the P and the U done. P and the U for push heater. Okay, it's coming up. That's the push done. Okay, just going to bring the camera over so you can see. and that's the finished article.